Rainy day today in San Diego. It's still drizzling lightly, but I'd like to share a ghost story. Something that happened many years ago when I was young. Well, at one time I rented the downstairs of a house from a friend of mine who was also a coworker prior to that. And it was strange, you know. Like the bedroom was painted all red, and I don't know. It felt a little strange to me, you know. And the neighborhood is very old. It's in the hills behind Cal State LA, and yeah, like I said, it's a very old neighborhood. I used to have a friend that lived in that area, and he said his house was haunted, you know, but it was a very friendly ghost, very nice. I don't know. Anyways, that's besides the point. So I rented this downstairs, and you know, I very rarely woke up in the middle of the night. I sleep through the night. I used to sleep through the night like, you know, like a log. But one night I woke up and I looked, and there was this thing, this entity or this ghost sitting on my chest. And at first I was like, what in the fuck, you know? But I wasn't scared. I was more fascinated than anything else. So I was like, how can I prove this isn't, like, you know, a dream or something? So I looked to my right, and I had a clock on my nightstand, and it said like 2 something. I don't remember the exact time, but it was past 2 a.m. for sure. And then I looked back at this thing that was sitting on my chest, and I looked at its face, its head, and it was like an orb. Like one of those, you know, like classic fortune teller glass orbs. And it was filled with like storms, with clouds. It was like swirling. And eventually it reached out with its hands and it touched my nose. And it floated and shrank and disappeared into the ceiling, or I guess the first level floor. And then I got straight up. I woke straight up. I didn't go to bed for the rest of the night because I was like, I couldn't believe what happened, you know. And then I never told anyone this. I didn't even tell the guy I was renting from, the friend that I was renting from. And then eventually I moved out. I got a different place. And then and he messaged me. Remember, like way back when we used to have like AIM and Yahoo Messenger and Microsoft Messenger and all this stuff, messaging apps on your computer. He reached out to me through one of those. And he asked me if anything strange, if I witnessed anything strange or experienced anything strange while I was living there. And then I was like, maybe. I don't know why. Why do you ask? And he told me he hired a contractor to do some work at his house, you know, that I was previously renting downstairs of. And then he said his workers called him and asked him if anyone was home. Because I guess, I don't know why, but I guess he had told them that nobody was going to be home and they had to access the place a certain way or through the entrance or through some gate. I don't know. So he told them, no, nobody's home. My girlfriend's at, you know, I think she was a teacher or worked for LA USD or something like that. And then, and he was at work. So nobody was home. And he said, well, because my workers are telling me that somebody's walking around the house. They hear footsteps all over the house. So they thought somebody was home, and nobody was supposed to be home. I said, no, nobody's home. The next day, the contractor calls them again and says, is somebody home today? And he's like, no, nobody's home. And he gave him the same explanation. You know, his girlfriend's at work, and I'm at work, nobody's home. And then the contractor was like, well, somebody's turning the water on and off. All through the house, the water's being turned on and off. Well, the next day, his workers refused to come to work. They refused to go to the house. And I'm like, so I told him what I had experienced. I don't remember what his response was. Like I said, it was so long ago. And, you know, like time had passed and this happened and they moved out and things like that. So, I don't know. Anyways, that's my ghost story. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. Maybe I had imagined it, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting.